know what was in my contract. I was young. I think I was like 20. And I didn't know everything that was in that contract. So when I got with Roc Nation, I got management, real management. I got real lawyers. And they was like, do you know that this is in your contract? And I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't know. So I'm not mad at 1501. I wasn't upset because I'm thinking in my head, oh, well, everybody cool. We all family. It's cool. It's nice. Let me just ask some niggas to renegotiate my contract. Soon as I said I want to renegotiate my contract, everything went left. Like, it just all went bad. It all went left. So now they're telling the bitch that she can't drop no music. It's really just like a greedy game. Like, it's really just real greedy. Wasn't trying to lead a label. Wasn't trying to not give nobody money that they feel like they entitled to. I just want to renegotiate some shit.
It's a quick news break with yours truly, the one and only. I go by the name of Miss TALIAFERRO. How's everybody doing out there? So we don't have a lot of time to waste. I got a lot of information to get into in this video, so I want to move quickly. I advise you to go check out a couple of my previous videos in which we did report on this Megan Thee Stallion, Carl Crawford 1501 situation. It'll further give you some information. We just don't have the time to go over all that stuff and keep this video in a timely fashion, right? So we got to get right into it. So we led with Megan Thee Stallion giving her side of the story of what she believes happened. As some of you know, Megan Thee Stallion a few years ago signed a deal with 1501. That is Carl Crawford, former MLB player. That's his label, all right? He was one of the first people to believe in Megan Thee Stallion, the artist. He gave her a deal. Megan obviously has become this big-time deal in the rap game. She claims the deal is no good. So around August or September of last year, Megan Thee Stallion signed a management deal with Roc Nation. Their lawyers went through the paperwork of her original deal with 1501. They're claiming that it's a bad deal. You shouldn't be in this deal. So I just kind of want to pick up from there. Megan Thee Stallion gave her side of the story with the video that we led with, saying, yo, my situation's effed up. They're stopping me from putting out music because I want to renegotiate my deal. Well, Carl Crawford has now given his side of the story. We want to allow both parties to speak. We let Megan talk. Now Carl Crawford is giving his side of the story in an exclusive interview with Billboard. It's straight quotes, all right? It's a written interview, so I have to read off a few of the quotes. I went through the entire interview and I'm going to give you a summary of the interview here. Please bear with me as I read out some of these quotes from this interview. Here's what Carl Crawford says happened between him and Megan Thee Stallion. He said, let's talk about your contract. It's a great contract for a first-timer. What contract gives part of their masters and 40% royalties and all that kind of stuff? Ask Jay-Z to pull one of his artists' first contracts out and let's compare it to what Megan got. I guarantee they won't ever show you that. So Carl Crawford was asked by the person at Billboard during this interview, what was your initial reaction when Megan went on Instagram Live and accused your label of preventing her from dropping new music? My initial reaction was, man, I can't believe this is serious. She just has so many holes in her story, and it's almost on some delusional type stuff. The bubble of Hollywood and her 8 million followers has really clouded her head because the stuff that she's saying, it's not true. It's a whole lie. Nothing is true what she said. Me being greedy and taking money from her, that's crazy. I never tried to take nothing from her. The only thing we ever did was give. Now she fell for the oldest trick in the industry, the conquer and divide theme. Everybody in the industry knows this is what Jay-Z and Roc Nation do. They come in, they find the smallest things wrong with the problem because they weren't any problems before she left. She kept saying them niggas over there negotiated my contract. Them niggas are sitting right next to her right now. T. Ferris is the one. Her mom did the contract. I'm new to the business. This is Carl Crawford talking here. I let this guy T. Ferris run my whole business because I knew absolutely nothing about it. Zero. Again, he is a former MLB player who's probably got a lot of bread and wanted to do something with it. He said zero. So he wrote your contract up. I didn't do it. They wanted to make a big deal about it. We signed a deal, honor your contract, and let's keep doing business. How we been doing? Everything is fine. Nobody is trying to rob you. Carl Crawford, let me stop right there and say this. Carl, she's not going to continue to do business with you if she feels like she's being cheated in the deal that she's in right now. If she feels like she can renegotiate a deal and get more, I don't care what you say about even though Megan signed that deal, you can't expect somebody to just be happy with a deal that they feel like they're being cheated. She's not going forward doing business with you. You guys are not doing business together anymore, all right? This is going to court. The interviewer asked Carl, when Megan announced her management deal with Roc Nation, from my understanding, you found out the news the same time as everybody else. Is that correct? Carl said the guy T. Ferris, the one who was helping me with my business, he was handling Megan for me. She's a girl, so he was used to being a road manager. I was letting him handle the business, and he said, we're going to Roc Nation. We got a meeting. I said, oh, cool. We're going to meet Jay-Z. I'm actually excited because I get to meet Jay-Z myself. You know, we looked up to this man. I said, what's going on? He said, ain't no big deal. He just finna show us around the building. Little small shit. I'm like, cool. Do I need to be there? He was like, nah. You know, it ain't that serious. I said, well, okay, cool. I don't go because we were just on tour with her. Me and Megan are perfectly fine at the moment. But at the end of the day, tell them what the real plan was. The real plan was to get you out of my contract so they could sign you to Roc Nation. That's all they want to do. Excuse me. We gave this girl a 60-40 split. Now go ask the artist about that. She's got parts of her masters the first time. You think Jay-Z would have gave her parts of the masters on her first deal with Roc Nation? Fuck no. Then she's getting $100,000 a show and she don't want to pay up. That's what the issue was about. She signed with Roc Nation in August and decided she don't want to pay me no more. They're using that as a strong arm tactic so that I can renegotiate the contract. They're holding the money and they haven't paid me since August. She done over 15 shows. Y'all do the math. She's getting $100,000 a show. She owe me, and I haven't recouped almost $2 million that we spent on her, building her up so that Roc Nation would want to come around. Where was Roc Nation at when we were grinding and riding on them back streets? Roc Nation was nowhere to be found. Soon as we spent our money, blow it up, now all of a sudden these strangers and people you just meet, they introduce you to Beyonce, and now we the devil? We were just the angel sent from the sky. Now we're the devil because Jay-Z saved you? You're so fake. The interviewer asked Carl Crawford, what about her claiming that she's only been paid $15,000 by the label? Carl said, how she's been paid 15 grand? As soon as she signed to 300, I wrote her a check for 50 grand and it's signed with her name on the check. We can show you the proof. That's another thing. I got all my receipts. They know it. I got all the receipts. We gave her a $10,000 advance when we first signed and gave it to her mother. I don't know what happened with that. 300 gave us 200 grand, a 200 grand check when we first signed. I gave her 50,000 of that. I didn't have to give her that. That was mine at the time. And we never told her no a day in our lives. She just got on some real hating shit or whatever and just don't want me around. All right? How can I be mean to you? I never was around you. I didn't do nothing. You barely saw me. Real quick, I want to stop and say this. Carl, if you gave her 10 grand and you're admitting that you only gave her 10, 15 grand out the gate, that's a bad deal. All right? And you're making it seem like you deserve a crown because you gave her 50 grand out of the 200 grand that you got. Nobody deserves a crown for that. It's a bad deal. You're acknowledging that. Let's keep it moving. The interviewer asks, let's run through the numbers that Megan is claiming in her lawsuit against 1501. She says that 1501 gets 60% of her recording income. Carl says that's right, and she gets the 40%. But she's claiming the chunks of the 40% is given to third-party people like producers, mixers, feature artists, etc. Is that true? Nah, I don't think that's true either. It's a great deal. She wants to talk about a bad deal. She's disrespecting her mother by saying because her mother and T. Ferris are the ones who did it. Those two worked out the deal with the lawyer. I didn't have anything to do with that. He's probably telling the truth about that, by the way. He's admitted that he don't even know enough about the music business. He was just looking to invest in somebody. All right. The interviewer asks, and you guys supposedly get 30% of her touring and the 30% of all her merch as well. Here's what Carl says to that. He said, well, we did a 360 deal where it was 70-30. The reason why it was 70-30 was because we gave up so much. We gave a part of her masters right now. We gave her a 60-40 split. That's why we got so much on that side. We knew we did some stuff that people don't do. This is how I was getting the business. This is how I got her to sign with us because I wanted to make sure we overdo it the way we can get her. She got a great deal. She's just over there with Roc Nation and she's mad because somebody said something bad about her one time. She's acting like people can't speak their truth. Like she's the only one that has the truth. If you watch her in her interviews, she looks like a little kid that's just being silly. It's like she's not even taking it serious. Look at it. Everybody knows She looks silly telling everybody I didn't do nothing here in Houston, Texas. When we sat there and watched it from day one, she's such a fraud. All right. The interviewer asked, when was the last time you spoke to Megan? Secondly, do you feel like the relationship can be salvaged? Carl says, I don't know at this point because it's so bad. I don't know what can happen right now. I'm just trying to make sure that fair is fair. I just want to be fair. Nobody wanted to stop her from her music. I understand that, but she's been ignoring me since August. I haven't spoken to her since August, and that's what's going on. She hasn't tried to do nothing. She hasn't made one payment since August. You do the math and see how many months that is and add it up. Anybody would be pissed off. You owe me money that I recouped, and you owe me the show money. You owe me damn near $2 million. You $2 million in the hole, and you just want to get out of it because Roc Nation told you could. That's how it is. And she's just young and doesn't know the business and how you're supposed to honor contracts. They want to take advantage of me because I'm new to the business and don't know nothing. This is what Roc Nation do. They harp on a week. I guarantee you, if I didn't have Jay Prince right now, I wouldn't even be able to talk to you, bro. Roc Nation would have already took this shit. This shit would have already been took from me. All my hard work would have went down the drain. I'm here to fight for this. Man, I need to take a break. Whew. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the time. We're already over 10 minutes, and this is without me giving any type of commentary. So I got to go quickly here. I want to say this. Carl Crawford was looking for a lick. All right, Carl Crawford is a businessman. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in the interview. He's a businessman. He's trying to make money. All right. For some reason in the music business, people think that you're supposed to not do what's best for your business. At the end of the day, be clear. When we're talking business, people do at the end of the day what's best for themselves. They do what's best for their pockets. Remember the Diddy and Mace conversation we had on my platform and a lot of other platforms a couple weeks ago. Same type of situation. You sign a young up-and-coming artist who at the time ain't got no music. They don't got these followers, this fan base. So they'll take anything at the time. We have to acknowledge that place though. Like, I got to be fair to Carl Crawford in this. We can't just look at Megan Thee Stallion right now and say, yo, Megan clearly needs a new deal. She's one of the biggest artists in the game, not just female, one of the biggest artists going right now. Many would argue her name is as hot as any artist in the country right now, like the Babies of the world, right? You could argue that her name is up there with the highest, right? So when you factor that in, who she was, not who she is right now, when they signed that deal, I want you to look at this with your eyes open more. Don't just look at Carl Crawford as a bad guy in this. He did a business deal with somebody who was not popping at the time. I'm not looking at this as Megan Thee Stallion, who's got 10 million people following her. I'm looking at this when she was down and out. So to be fair to Carl, he was doing business with a project. This project has exceeded anyone's expectations. Even if you were the complete optimist, I'm sure you wouldn't have even fathomed Megan becoming this big of a superstar. But Carl deserves credit for signing on to something that became a big deal. He hit the lick. He's supposed to be making money right now. But what I want to bring to Carl and understand, I want him to understand this. If Megan can, I'm just guessing some numbers out here. If Megan continues to do business with Carl Crawford, I'm pretty sure these Roc Nation lawyers have pretty much broken down to her like this. Look. If you stay with Carl Crawford, the deal is bad enough, even though you'll own some of your masters. In the short term, you probably will make $20 million working with Carl Crawford over the next 3 or 4 years. If you get out of that deal with all the power and leverage that you have right now in the rap game, you'll probably make $150 million, right? Here's what Carl Crawford has to understand. There is nothing that's going to keep Megan in that deal with you, no matter What? She's not standing to deal with you, fam. There's too much business in her to be out of business with you. You're not Jay-Z and Roc Nation. He even admitted in this interview, I read it off, he was like, I wanted to meet Jay-Z and Roc Nation when she went and met with Roc Nation the first time around. He gave the power to a lawyer that was his guy, T. Ferris, that was supposed to be doing business for him. He links with Megan. They go to Roc Nation. They try to cut out the middleman in Carl Crawford, right? That's what happened, according to Carl Crawford. You can't, to me, Carl Crawford, this is how this needs to end. This is how this is going to end, actually. Megan is going to want to make this thing muddy. She wants Carl Crawford to be mad at her. She does not want Carl Crawford. I think at the end of the interview I read, Carl wants business to just go back as usual. Carl wants Megan to pay him the money that she owes, and he just wants them to continue to honor their contract, right? That's what he wants. That's not going to happen. Megan wants Carl Crawford mad at her. She wants to smear his name. She wants this to get nasty. She wants this to go to court. All that stuff. What you want if you're Megan is Carl mad at you to the point where his name is being smeared in the industry where no other artist would like to sign with him. Everybody's like, yo, bro, I don't want to sign with you. I heard what you did to Megan. He wants Carl to say, all right, let's go to court. So Megan and Roc Nation could give Carl Crawford a settlement. But what they need, what Roc Nation, and never forget, Jay-Z, Roc Nation, they're business people. I know we love Jay. I know we love Beyonce. They're running a business over there too. Everybody is looking out for themselves. What Jay, Roc Nation, and Megan want is for Carl Crawford to say, F this. I'm done with Megan. I don't want nothing to do with her. She don't want to be in a contract with me no more. Fine. Buy her out. Let's go to court. Let's work out maybe $5 million. I won't, maybe $5 million will get it done. I don't know what to get it done right now. Maybe even more than that at this point with all the money that Megan's going to make in the near future, especially when she goes on a tour, makes more money, puts out an album, all that good stuff. Maybe at that point in time, Carl will say, just give me my money. I don't want to do this business with her anymore. If they don't make it money, though, Carl's going to be like, yo, you hear him in the interview saying it, I want to keep going with my contract. I don't want to buy her out. So Megan has to make this money. It's going to get even worse than this because Megan needs it to get muddy for her to get out of this deal. So, I mean, I could go on longer in this. It's just so many little intricacies to business. Megan signed a bad deal. She does not deserve an out because she didn't read over her paperwork at the time. What I want to be fair and Carl is saying is maybe Megan even read over the deal, but when you're down and out, when you broke, anything sounds better than nothing. If your family in a bad spot, you'll take anything to get your family in a better situation right now, right? Like, that's what it is. We can't ignore the fact that, Carl said it. He's like, yo, Roc Nation want to do business with Megan Thee Stallion, who's 8 million followers up, millions of dollars up. She's built this brand for herself. She's got fans all over the world. They want to do business with Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. Carl is saying, I was doing business with Megan Thee Stallion in 2016 before all this. See, it's easy to want to do business with Megan when she's up. Y'all wasn't around when Megan was down. I invested in that. See, people want people in the music business to ignore their own interests. That's not how this works. But again, a great conversation. Please continue it in my comment box below. I am sweating. All right, reading. My lights are on everywhere. I am sweating. Let me know what you think about this situation. As Carl Crawford, he comes from being silent to speak and give his side of the story. I can't call this a quick news break, y'all. It ain't quick. It was not quick. But it is a news break with yours truly, Mr. Taliaferro. I'm out.